Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Hades 2 in what will be our second run, post-New True Ending. And that means that this would be the last run we need to fully experience the post-True Ending transition into the end game experience, because we're supposed to do one run on the surface and now one run in the underworld after that new True Ending. And then the other thing is that we are still looking at trying to check off, if possible, the next tier of the Knights Champion, which would mean having 16 fear going down into the underworld. And it's been a little while since we've done any fear runs, since we, for the most part, went fearless in our build-up toward that new True Ending. We did have a surprise rival Kronos fight in that new True Ending, so I guess that's the closest thing we've had. Though it has been a little while since our last high fear run, we have learned some things along the way from our previous high fear runs, and I think at least the first rival fight in the underworld is a little bit of a gimme against rival Hecate, so figured might as well throw that on. Less so the case on the surface. Other than that, Vow of Hubris, it's worth a fair number of fear points, so we'll take it for that reason. It means we're gonna end up using, or really priming, a whole bunch of magic as time goes on based on the rarity of the boons that we take. More or less means that we are locking in what is going to be a no charge move, no magic use run. So as long as we're okay with that from the onset and don't rely on that, then hopefully we can still get by with that. Then Vow of Denial, we've used it a little bit in primarily those runs where we're really trying to squeeze out as much fear as possible. This is the one that prevents us from seeing boons that we reject. Like, you take one boon and then the other two are just never going to show up again. Then Vow of Forfeit, kind of similar in a way. The first boon that you would usually receive in a region instead turns into an onion, which is basically nothing. So this one we used more often, and it's worth a ton of fear factor points, so it is nice from that standpoint, even if it obviously is quite impactful. We've sort of gotten used to it in a way. Then I think we found that in many ways these were the most straightforward ones. The chance of enemies showing up from the next most difficult zone, then also the chance of enemies coming back, or they at least start off as a little ghost and you have to chase it down. And if you do, then nothing happens. If you don't, then the enemies respawn. And especially with the weapon aspect that you may have noticed I set us up with, this is probably not going to be that big of a factor. Then did put 2 points into Grit, giving the enemies 20% extra life. We have done this a bit before. Honestly, the main reason for doing it is, although giving them extra life is going to mean that every encounter takes longer and there's more potential for enemies to damage us before we take them out, the number is not that high. 20% in the grand scheme of things, if you have at least a half-decent build, that could more than make up for the 20% extra life that the enemies have. Obviously, against bosses, that's potentially a bigger concern, but hopefully we'll still be okay there. Could potentially argue for swapping this out in exchange for a couple of points into debt, which would make things more expensive. And then if you do spend 2 points on this, it makes everything cost 80% more. At that point, I feel like you're basically committing to having no shops at all. So I would like to at least have the chance to get healing and whatnot from the mini shops. I'm on the fence a little bit about this one. I think we'll still end up going no debt, instead going Grit. In large part just because, as I said, 20% extra life versus 80% extra cost. Yes, this is every single enemy, whereas this is only relevant to shops and mini shops, but I still feel like that might be a little more impactful. And then as for the setup for Malinoe, I'm thinking we go aspect of Medea on the skull. We took a while before we started using this, but I can understand why people are a big fan of it. It does pack a pretty serious punch, and I think especially because on a run like this where we're loading up on all the fear, we would like to not be that dependent on having a high level boon on our attack and or special, because with this, even without any boons, we're already sitting on 90% extra damage, which is really nice. And then I'm thinking we could go Gold Purse, as we did in the early stages, but I think we're still going to go Jeweled Palm here. We do have the same set of Arcana cards that we've been using for a while now, so we do have Fate's Whim. This isn't going to be as impactful, given how we have the various fear factors that are either reducing the total number of boons that we get or penalizing us, depending on how strong those boons are. Well, I guess in that case, it's primarily based on the rarity, so more so the Calling card would have a little bit of an anti-synergy, although we may just deal deal with it. And as I said, if we just commit to not using any magic on this run at all, then maybe that's manageable. So I'm thinking it's 1, then maybe second floor, it's you. And then since we did not take debt, we could still benefit from taking the gold purse on the 3rd floor. Otherwise, it could be the experimental hammer, because now that this lasts for 20 encounters, that means that it likely would last for all of the 3rd floor, and most, if not all, might need to cut ourselves off a little bit early with the bonus rooms on the last floor. I don't know to what extent we're going to want to do those when we have all the fear factors active, but it gives us a chance to get some carryover value into the final floor if we do take this on the 3rd floor. Alternatively, Narcissus Keepsake, maybe even Concave Stone on the 3rd floor. And then, final floor, probably just gonna stick with the simple stuff, Luckier Tooth or Knuckle Bones against Kronos. So that's the plan. I don't know that there's anything else we're keeping our eye out for here, prophecy-wise, but let's just double check. So we still
Fates would have me do their bidding.
Cannot progress the plot line with the Fates. And I think we need to do at least one more run before we can awaken Hypnos again. Obviously, regardless, it wouldn't be something we'd be doing directly on the run. And this is definitely going to be a run where we are not going out of our way to pick things just for the sake of prophecy completion. We should be strictly business. So, I suppose maybe just a bad influence looking at that list at all. And then for the familiar, I am thinking it probably makes sense to go with Golly. The blocks, I think, would be very useful given how we're going to be very close range most of the time. And she also does do damage when she blocks. She's generally been our go-to familiar whenever we are going particularly high fear runs. Don't think we could get away with Rocky. Phrenos is probably the familiar that I'm least fond of using nowadays, alongside maybe Hecuba, which, especially since we aren't planning on relying on magic, I think does not make any sense. Tula would probably be the alternative option if we wanted to go the Death Defiance route, and then she would have more direct damage if we micromanage her, but that, I don't know if we want to make a point of doing that, so I'm thinking we go Golly, and maybe, for good luck, on what is technically expected to be our most difficult run yet, maybe we do spend the extra nightmare we've picked up to get one of the nightmarish forms of the familiars. I mean, this is the only use we have left for nightmare outside of just selling it for even more kudos, so sure,
Show me your dark
we'll do it.
side.
Show me your dark
love
side.
it.
Okay, so maybe that's a good luck sign. Let's just double check. This will, if we defeat Kronos, give us the extra nightmare. And I think it actually, doesn't it give us 2 now that we are at 10 fear or higher? It's been so long since we last did that I don't even remember anymore. Fortunately, it is not rival Kronos, so it's just rival Hecate. But that's enough talk. Let's head on out.
Hence I go.
Hence we go. Alright, so this is going to be an onion. We do get you as the extra Hades boon from the Jeweled Palm. It's the one that makes us go dark after we take damage, making us impervious for 5 seconds, and then it can reoccur after 40 seconds. And, well, we do 70% extra damage while we are dark, which is very nice. I was just thinking, this reminds me of the boon, or not so much reminds me of as much as it just makes me think it could be a really good synergy alongside the boon you can get from Athena that makes you impervious, and then it needs a few seconds cooldown before it can proc again. Because between the two of them, it gives you multiple ways to not take damage, but they have a cooldown. Get those. I did see... Oop. That was a waste of a block. That's okay, but yeah, you are from the next floor. Oh, you are not dead yet. Did you explode? Okay. So yeah, I would of course love to save the blocks to the extent possible, but they're there to be used one way or another. Oh, these guys.
Got you.
They're all about to respawn on us. Nope. None of that nonsense. Ooh, I was about to dash straight into the bramble, so I'm glad that it did go down. Otherwise, we probably would have taken a little bit of damage in the process. Ooh. Okay, so admittedly, I didn't really think of which types of gods or goddesses we wanted to show up. It's been a long time since we've had Demeter on a run, it seems like. And she has been one of, if not my favorite person to get. So I'm thinking take her, and we're really looking for a cast or a special for the freeze. And then remember that whatever we don't take is not going to show up for the rest of the run because of Vow of Denial. So we do need to be very mindful of that. Can't get too fancy in that way. Okay, there's the extra 20% life for you, though. If you're wondering how impactful it was going to be, I don't think that's the first time it's been the difference between enemies living and dying. Ooh, one moment, please. I'd like to get that. Thank you. Okay. So, just gonna have this before... technically there are some boons that would make us get bonus value from that, from Demeter, so technically should have done this first. Probably would have turned those down either way, but let's see.
Kronos, nor do I wish to see his wretched countenance again. But if whatever spell you cast on him has truly withered his ambitions, then so be it. Perhaps there was no other way.
I guess that's one way to look at it. Haven't really thought of it that way before, but our incantation, it was designed to defeat him, destroy him altogether, not so much change his point of view. Okay, so we could get the attack, but I don't know that that's what we want. I think we would rather get the special. We want a really high damage attack boon. Honestly, that's more damage than I remembered. Oh, it's probably because this is already level 4, courtesy of the Jeweled Palm. But I think we do this. So we're looking mostly for the utility here, and we'll instead try to find someone who just maximizes the pure damage on the attack boon, which I think is okay. And there's the Vow of Hubris, just confirming I believe we will never see those other boons that we just saw again. Oh. I honestly did not realize at first that that was the larger version of that enemy because they look so similar. Oh, the other boon that we've, or not, fear factor that we've sometimes taken, that's how to miss, in case you're wondering. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. This has not been great, what's been using our blocks. But the other fear factor that we've sometimes taken has been the one that makes extra enemies spawn. I deliberately did not go for that one just because I remembered that specifically in the Kronos fight, it can be a bit of a pain in the butt because in his second phase, it means that more of the hourglasses that heal him spawn in, and they can heal him very quickly, so didn't want to find ourselves in that situation. Ooh. In any other situation, I would be very tempted by this. I do want the Demeter special. I want it to stay Demeter. I mean, the cast, I think, would have been even better still for just the utility from the freeze. This is really powerful. I just don't know that this is when we want to be activating it, though, unfortunately. So, you know, had I known that that was going to show up, I might have actually opted for the attack, and then that way we sacrifice the attack, get someone who has better pure damage in the first place, plus it's gaining 2 levels, plus it's gaining a rarity tier. Okay, let's go. I think we're just taking life, since that tiny bit of life we get from this, since we're committing to not getting magic. Those are also enemies from... Some of those were enemies from the next floor, even though they look extremely similar, this guy. Just throwing me off a little bit. Oh, what? That's very strange timing for that, but okay. Well, also, these do still spawn in, even for the enemies that aren't the skills.
Well done.
Oh, where's the skulls? Please don't spawn directly on top of me. I don't appreciate that. Also, I had no choice but to get hit by that. I was in the process of dashing. Honestly surprised that iframes didn't save us there. Okay. We'll get this.
So how's it going?
And
Hey,
the
sister.
Artemis arrival as well for some crit potential. Don't think we really need to worry about locking out the 2 boons we don't take from her, since it's very unlikely. Is it even possible for her to show up twice in the same run? I don't even think so. How many nectars do we have to spare, out of curiosity? A decent bit. Sure, we'll give it to her.
I can't exactly drink this on the hunt, you know. But I can squirrel it away for safekeeping. Maybe once all this is settled, we can share a bottle and get properly caught up.
Of course you would use that verb.
Or, failing that, we could always keep on teaming against vengeful spirits and the like. Although it's nice to keep the possibility in mind.
Okay, now for the normal conversation.
The deed is done, or should I say the task is finally complete. But you're right back to work.
Indeed.
Yes, well, call it a habit or an opportunity to check up on some things. And thank you, Artemis. I won't forget the flight of the Silver Sisters.
Apollo just had to come along, though I won't soon forget it either. Not felt a victory like that in ages. Wait, why are we still fighting?
Good question.
To destroy every last trace of the threat we faced, apparently. So I still need you around as much as ever.
You mean we get to keep this up, and I will have as much target practice as I want? Well, okay.
We've talked about how
Just
that's
what I have.
a little bit of a lame explanation, but then again, what else are you going to do and when? You need to find some excuse to keep the players coming back even once they've reached the true ending. Okay, so those with at least 80% life or armor have a 22% chance of taking critical hits. Random enemy will be marked. If they take critical damage, it will repeat. There's 16 seconds in between marks, or after we dash. Our charge moves may deal crit. No, we can't do any charge moves, so it's one of these two. Remember, the higher rarity option we take, the more magic we're going to sacrifice in the process, but since we don't really have any intention of using magic at any point in time, maybe that's not a huge deal. Honestly, I might lean toward this. If we're trying to load up on as many of the explodey skulls at once, rather than just going back and forth with a single skull, which technically I think in many cases is actually preferable. If you do load them all up at once, then does that mean you're getting a huge burst of damage with a 22% chance of critting? Or does it technically get split into multiple little hits, and each one, and only that very first one gets a 22% chance, in which case it's a little bit less effective? Alright, maybe I'll go Death Warrant. I might have just
You have it.
talked myself into it.
Fight on, sister.
Okay, so then we have a mini-boss with Poseidon, or we have a mid-floor shop. And we have about 400, a little less than 400 gold. Just want to be strategic about... Yeah, I mean, we're doing okay at the moment, of course, but we do want to try to set ourselves up for long-term success here. Gold we don't spend on this floor is gold we could save and spend on a future floor, so getting a free boon is nice, but I do kind of anticipate we're going to take some damage. You know what? We'll do it, though. It's this guy.
Shall we cross blades again?
I know you guys explode. Ooh. Come back that way as well. That's kind of nasty. Not gonna lie. Oh, even when they blow themselves up, they can still come back that way. That's kind of devious. Not gonna lie. I missed! There we go. Okay, I don't think we took any damage, didn't need to use any blocks, so for that reason, I think that definitely worked out in our favor.
Will surrender to us, niece. You must have heard you helped deliver him. If there remains some mess that must be cleaned, I cannot follow what you ramble on about, but if you simply need my boons, then here.
Thanks, Poseidon. Alright, let's see. So definitely not charge moves. Start of encounter, we get bonus damage for 10 seconds. Could be useful, since we're trying to do a big burst of damage at the beginning. Sprint damage, I do like this one. Gives us an alternative way to do damage. It does knock enemies back, which could almost be not helpful because we're very close range with our big burst of damage, but it is possibly the best pure damage dash boon. I think we might still go for Hydraulic Might here, though. Remember that whatever we don't take is never going to show up again. Can we find a different dash boon that we like? I think maybe we can. Okay, and then that does mean that this is definitely not the room that we want to see here. Oh, this. Nope, yeah, that was a bad idea. It's a little creepy. Do we have the fear factor that makes more enemies spawn, or is it just stuff that's occasionally making them stronger? If 20% extra life, they can be from the next floor. Respawn, boon-related stuff, and then the first boss is a mini-boss. Okay, so we don't have more enemies spawning than usual. I think it might have just been that room where we had Artemis show up, where those encounters do last longer. Okay, so if we go here, we'll get an upgrade on either you or you. Remember, we want to be quick at the beginning of the encounter. We have more damage. And we're also freezing the enemies. These are just all from the next floor. Like, every single enemy is from the next floor in this room. Oh, no, not that one. Ooh. It's bouncing around more than I would like it to. He says as he almost walks into the bouncing projectile. Okay.
A gift.
So I don't know which one we'd prefer to see upgraded. It was the one that gives us bonus damage at the beginning of the encounter. Okay. Ooh. So this is interesting. Arachne, I guess, probably would be the one thing that we could try to do. Talk to her to progress her side quest. But as I was saying before, I think that for this run, we can't focus on that stuff. We want to be thinking strictly strategy, because this is our hardest run yet. So I think we can't really turn down the double goddess, or double god-goddess room. Family dispute. It does mean, of course, that we're going to proc even more of these sorts of things here. But I think we still want to do it nonetheless. And obviously, the people getting mad at us does make it more dangerous for that reason as well. So what would we like to see first here? I think we would... you make a water-seeking projectile. You create circles on the ground, I think. And I think you are better for us, especially if we can get your cast. That's what I really want to see. We know we won't see your attack boon anymore, because that's been locked out. And if we get the one that rarefies as time goes on, still early enough in the run that that would be good timing. So I think it makes sense to prioritize you. I think it's going to be this. Oh, that's so good, though. That's so good, though. I kind of hate that these are showing up at the same time. And this is the other one that I was referring to. No! These are probably the 3 boons we wanted the most from her. Oh, dear. This is the highest rarity. It's really good utility. It just makes the freeze so much more effective. I just think that my preferred way to apply it would be the cast. Yes, we can already apply it with the special. That is true. But, oh, that stinks. And if this were higher rarity especially, it'd be a really strong option as well. I think I am still going to take cold storage.
Cold comfort.
Poseidon's mad.
No, the sea can be a moody mistress indeed. And you know why, my little niece? Because I can be a moody mister.
Alright, so I went the defensive route, really.
Here he comes.
Well, that missed, technically. Oh! Oh, I went dark. Haha. Also, the orb is... For whatever reason, it's finding ways to track me very effectively. More than I expected it to. Not that it's... Well, yeah, I guess it is heat-seeking, right? So that should be the expectation. Haven't really been focusing on going for the enemy that is marked. Ooh, that was close. Almost ate all those projectiles. There we go. I think we got hit once, but honestly, that's not too bad in what was very much looking to be a difficult room.
All is forgiven, niece. No need to fret. I was just testing your resolve, and evidently you have plenty of it still.
Okay. So let's see. Likewise, whatever we don't take here is not going to show up anymore. This is a very good time for buried treasure. Sea Star usually does synergize with that quite well, but it means we can only take one of those things. And the Poseidon cast, this would be our last chance to get this, although this is not really a boon that I was planning to pick up. It would have more so, again, been the Demeter cast. I think it's buried treasure, in large part because of the rarity, and again, that's okay. We're prepared to lose all of our magic. Even if we get a little bit back there. Okay. Ooh. The timing is unfortunate. Because it's definitely still going to be active for the fight against Hecate. However, is it still worthwhile? Because it very well could be. I think I'm going to do
I
it.
have the gold.
And we're just going to be very mindful of being careful with what we take. We're probably going to have to go with whatever's the safest rather than what has the best upside. And we could get more gold. However, well, on one hand, gold is worth more than usual. So we benefit more than we would typically benefit from taking this. You could also argue that that means we aren't really going to need to go out of our way to get gold. We should instead take this. It's going to be the spending opportunities more so than the gold itself that's going to be the constraint. Yeah, we'll do this for that reason, to be honest. That was... I knew that was bad timing and I did it anyway. Not smart. These guys proving to be quite annoying because of how close range they are, how close range we are. We don't really have a long range option yet. This is what makes me feel like this this run had the extra enemies spawning in it. Oh, I missed. It feels like this wave has gone on, this room has gone on longer than I would have expected it to have gone. This is the benefit of having a crazy freeze duration. That guy, oh, wow, that's an attack? I thought that was just a dash. I don't think we've ever been hit by that before. I was wondering if we might get a chance to get a little bit of healing from that. It is well timed. Okay, this is the boon. And we have chaos after this.
To Kronos, eh? One moment it's the same old war, and then the next he shows up on our mountain all contrite. I know you witches can be serious, but this was well past what I reckoned you could do.
Okay, so we don't yet have an attack boon. We need to be a little bit mindful of, if we block the attack boon from all of our eligible gods and goddesses, we just won't even have it possible to get an attack boon. Because I don't know that this is the one that I wanted to see, but if we turn this down, we know we can't get it from Demeter. I don't remember if we've seen Poseidon's attack boon. We may not have, although I'm not sure I would want it anyway. We don't have a cast boon, so we could do that. Honestly, I might take this. It does prime magic, but if we just accept the fact that, as we were saying, we're never going to use magic anyway, then it kind of doesn't matter. And it's 10 flat added damage, which I think means that it then is getting multiplied by 1.9, so it's actually even more effective when combined with the aspect of Medea, and if we can get a good attack boon, percentage-based attack boon to go alongside it, it could be really good for that reason too. Okay, so we're gonna miss Selene. I think totally fine, given how we're gonna be using up all of our, or priming all of our magic. And life, be kind of nice, but should be okay. Just need to be careful
Why not?
about what the downsides are, because every once in a while, that's worth more than usual. Well, it's not that noticeable, but every once in a while we do see in these chaos rooms, even if you try to play it safe, there still aren't really any safe options. Okay, sure.
You can sense my motive in giving you this. Sometimes we simply feel an impulse to express our admiration. Knowing how important your whims are to you, surely you understand.
Europeans often demand tribute from their worshippers, do they not? Their custom, perhaps, but not mine. I merely ask that you honor our arrangement in perpetuity. Though neither shall I reject your offering.
Okay. As for the boons themselves, let's see, because this is going to be key.
Recently, I ceased to sense the being you call Typhon, which is unusual considering his size. I have been wondering whether this indicates some sort of trouble I am having, or if Typhon merely is no longer there. Which do you think? Respond.
The father of all monsters is destroyed, Almighty Chaos. It was an action I did not take lightly, but the threat against my family was significant and pervasive. He left us no choice.
You could have chosen the destruction of Olympus. Nonetheless, I understand why you do not. The power to unmake creations such as that, I would be curious to learn it for myself, although perhaps I would not use it sparingly.
Oh, that's a bit of a scary thought. Alright, now for this, let's see. Charge moves make us take damage. That's okay, don't have any intention of using charge moves. Afterward, we gain a whole bunch of elementals, which means infusions become either easier to use or more effective. We obviously don't have any yet. So, maybe it's pretty indirect, although it is safe, so it is nice from that standpoint. We move and sprint slower. Afterward, we move and sprint more quickly. I don't know that we can afford to do this when we're about to fight a boss. So the timing is not great for this, and definitely not great for that either. So I think it is going to end up being you. And it technically means these are going to get blocked, but I think that is fine.
Should be manageable.
Ooh. Is this the penultimate room? It might be, in which case, yes, we can buy a whole bunch of stuff at this shop. On the other hand, a free hammer, which actually does not proc any of these things. Does it count for... Not for this. I don't know if it counts for Vow of Denial or not. I should be kind of curious to see. Let's go. Okay, I think this is, yes, just an empty room. This is the one just before the boss. And remember, this will be rival Hecate. That's another reason why I'm trying to play this a little bit safely here. Okay, so let's see. Attacks fire all your shells at once in a spread pattern. It is potentially quite strong, but these are all attack-based, which is nice. But it uses all of them at once, which is a little tricky at times, because it means you can be caught defenseless if you're not careful. Shells fly back automatically and 100% faster. Convenient, yes, though not necessarily a pure damage upgrade. It's mostly utility. Attacks gain plus 50% damage and blast size over 0.7 seconds before they explode. This feels like this is basically... Is this exclusive to the aspect of Medea? So it feels like, if not, then this is turning other aspects into the aspect of Medea. I assume this means if we blow up our attack immediately, then we are not getting much bonus damage. It's the closer we are to 0.7 seconds, the closer it gets to 50% damage. And this is 3 seconds. This is 0.7, so it's much shorter. Ooh. But I don't know. If we are trying to just use them almost immediately. This might still be the way to go. I don't remember taking this, but there isn't a symbol next to it suggesting that we have, so that's a little bit odd. And this is the safe option. Both of these have some danger to them. I feel like on this occasion, honestly, I am going to play it
The
safe.
skull gleams anew.
And I didn't see anything popping up saying Vow of Denial, so theoretically, if we do see a hammer in the future, might even use the hammer keepsake, then we may see those guys again. But here is Rival Hecate, what could be one of the more difficult components, more difficult moments in this run. I mean, I've said before, I think that Rival Hecate is by far the easiest of all the rival fights, but obviously now I'm jinxing this, and we have a bunch of other fear stuff going on as well, so that could complicate matters.
Fulfill the oath. Everything as it once was, yet nothing is the same. A feeling I know only too well. It seems we are to prolong your training for a while.
Indeed.
My training shall never be complete, isn't that right? Although it's odd to think that following my prior steps to Tartarus shall help maintain the proper course of time.
Whether we truly possess the capability to maintain time remains to be seen. But we can at least maintain ourselves.
All right. Yep. She's not happy. Ooh, that moves more quickly than I remembered. And we froze her, which is really helpful. It is convenient. Oh, hello. I'd rather not. Okay, moving on to this phase. Oh, hello, this phase.
Arise again, sister.
Yeah, I would like if they would spawn. Ooh, they have armor. Do they usually have armor in the rival version? I don't remember that being the case. I could use those. Yep, thank you. The last one? Yes, I believe so. Oh, which one is the real? Is it the one that has the mark on it? Probably, right? Actually, it might not have been, though.
I have more hexes up my sleeve.
Do now. Oh, we got hit there. And there. Oops. Well, I mean, we do have resistances. I guess that's what they're there for, of course. But that's not the real Hecate. Mistakes were made. Oop, I missed. Is that your phase? No, because you should transform us. You're very close to it. You're not there yet. That probably, no? Still not at a third life yet? There it is. Don't walk into that, as I nearly did. Okay, so now we're just running for a long time. There we go. Oh, I missed. Ooh, hello. We I-framed our way out of that, apparently. Also, that was a bad time to use them. There we go. Probably should wait until I knew which one was the real one. Keep on thinking that those projectiles are the skulls, and nearly walking into them on several occasions. And I'm very surprised that I haven't taken more damage from that, to be honest with you. Oop, I pressed the wrong button. That's not the direction I thought you were going to do that. But there we go. Took us a little while, but she's down, and I don't actually think we took any damage from that, which is good.
Return to shadow now.
Yes.
The way she said that, her tone of voice.
Get that, Golly.
Return to shadow now. Okay, I think we are done in here.
Retracing my past steps.
Okay, and so now let's just see. I think we're gonna end up going calling card here. Don't have anything to Narcissus Keepsake at the moment. And so I think we might just go Narcissus Lists, potentially, so we can squeeze in the hammer upgrade on the 3rd floor. It depends. There are some hammer upgrades that are unusual enough that they may actually be counterproductive, and we can't control which one we get when we use that keepsake, so it's a little bit of a risk in that way. And this is now... oh, I thought that would give us more gold than usual. It's only from the direct drops that we get extra gold from that Poseidon boon. I guess it's the Hermes one that gives us extra gold from you. Either way, I think we're still doing this. It does mean that we are going to end up priming more magic, but again, we have accepted that that is going to end up being the case. Then here, definitely don't have any damage really on our cast right now. I think we're passing on all those things, and yep, we just hope to be especially aggressive in future shops, given our extra gold earning potential. But we're done with our only rival fight of the run. So from that standpoint, things are pretty good.
The air's thick.
So now it's just the boon, fear factors, and the extra, or the enemies from the higher floors. Like those guys. You really could have convinced me, though, that we took the one that makes more enemies spawn. I was about to get that, thank you very much.
These always come in handy.
Ooh. Okay, so whatever we get here is going to be of the same category as this. It's going to be a crafting resource, so this is a little bit extra life. It could end up being bones, which would give us a little bit of magic. That's less impactful. It could end up being a nectar, which would give us a palm slice. That would be the most impactful. We don't know if that's going to be the case, but I'm going to try for that reason. I almost stepped straight in that. Okay, okay. Fortunately, it was only 2 enemies, so it was very straightforward, but it is not very helpful. Ooh, that's a lot of those projectiles. The freeze duration coming in clutch, even if... Oh, that was not really necessary, and I probably should have anticipated that was going to be a problem, but... the freeze duration... You know, ideally, we're one-shotting most enemies. Which means the freeze isn't that useful. However, if we do end up not one-shotting enemies, then having them frozen for a ridiculous amount of time. It's 2 seconds, but it's 7.8 seconds total. I mean, you can freeze someone and then focus a lot on other enemies, and they'll still be... The original ones, they'll still be frozen, which is very useful. Okay, which we could potentially upgrade further with this, or we go Narcissus, who I do think is the weakest of all of the optional friendly NPCs, by a significant margin at that. So I think I will go with this, to be honest with you. The Narcissus room wouldn't have had any enemies in it, which would have been nice from that standpoint. Oh, I also forgot, we have the extra damage at the beginning of the encounters. You are 1,000 punch man. That is not what I wanted to see, and that feels a little cheap. Oh, these guys can... The roly dudes can spawn in. I'm surprised, to be honest with you. Because they are kind of a different category of enemy in a way. I do like how there have been several of those that have shown up in the water. Ow. Okay, it's just 1 damage from the steam. But when they end up in the water, it means that they just basically pick themselves up automatically. Because otherwise, like, I tried picking up the other one and it just wouldn't do anything. I wasn't able to get there.
Good job.
So it automatically did it for me. Okay, the Chaos Boon did evolve. It was, what, making us take damage if we use charge-up moves? I don't think I ever ended up doing that, even accidentally, fortunately. So that didn't amount to any bad stuff. It means we now have a lot of these. We're definitely eligible for water-related infusions, and there's one from Demeter that is water-based, and Poseidon as well. So that's good. And then, who else do we have on our radar? Hestia is fire, and we only have 1 extra fire boon, this one here, in addition to the 2 we're getting from that, so don't benefit that much from that, but this is tempting. You could argue it's already doing what we're asking it to do, and then some. I think this might actually be more damage than this. Well, for the attack, obviously, this is attack and special, this is only special. I might still go for this. And the attack is the primary source of damage. So we are using the special, but it's mostly just a means to activate the attack. Okay, so we can get more value from you, yes. However, we've already passed on at least 1 shop, and we are sitting on almost 800 gold right now, so I think we go here and we get really aggressive. And given how we have not yet seen Nemesis on this run, I'm curious as to whether that is an indicator that she might show up here. So we theorize that might actually be the case. Ooh. No, she is not here. There is a mini-boss after this room, regardless, and it's getting onionified. Ooh, I kind of completely forgot about that. I don't think this ever turns into an onion, which is unfortunate, because this is common, or this is just a basic rarity boon, whereas either of those would end up being higher rarity boons from the mini-boss, so that kind of stinks. I think we're buying everything here, though.
Why am I unsurprised you're still here offering your wares, even with everything that's happened recently, my lord? You won't stop until the underworld's entirely restored.
That's just the kind of guy that Charon is.
Not even then. Got it.
Oh, okay. So, we still don't have an attack boon, which means that is one of our highest priorities. Would we like to see that from Zeus? We certainly could, and then with the calling card, we would probably rarefy it as much as possible, because yes, we really want to make that attack as good as possible, and then load up on both of these, and maybe even try to target the attack with this. I think that's the plan.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Okay, so we're looking for attack. We do not see it. Whenever we use magic, no. Chain lightnings when we do strikes that prime magic, honestly pretty tempting. Or we get the cast, which we also don't have yet. And if we have turned it down already from a bunch of people and might be ineligible for every cast unless and until we see someone new. So I'm willing to go castless at this rate. I would have liked to have seen it from Demeter, if anyone, again, for the freeze. But since that's out the window at this point, I think we rarefy you and we take you.
Cheers.
The fact that that's Zagreus' voice still throws me off. Feels like it should be Zeus, the person who's giving us the boon directly. Okay, but now let's do this. And we could level this up, yes, although it's not as impactful as it would have been if it were the attack boon, so I think at this point I will actually just go for the freeze duration. Yeah, that is nice, but it obviously only lasts for 10 seconds, so I don't know that that's a big enough difference maker for that reason. Let's do this. And I think I will still go for you, and honestly at this point we still probably have more gold than we would have had at this point in the run. And it really doesn't matter which room we go into here. One way or another, it's going to be onionified. However, well, we don't know which mini-boss is going to be. So if we did, that would be the deciding factor. We don't, so take your pick. I guess we'll go here. Was it the right choice? Probably.
Oh, yes.
I would argue. Ooh, that was close. That was unfortunate. There's nothing I could really do about that, just given the positioning. It's the freeze duration for you, already paying off. And he's already frozen again. It would help if I hit the target, of course. It would help if I hit the target, of course. Okay, we're just not going to talk about that. There we go. Okay, that's the onion. Then Selene is definitely not of interest. We could theoretically be interested in some max life. We did just pick up a little bit from the shop, so that's not as urgent as it might have otherwise been. We did not guarantee this with a mini shop, and therefore we do take damage when we go in there. We would once again probably need to be very mindful of what the downside is, because we are getting close to the Skilla fight already. It's not rival Skilla, but I do still think we want to be careful. So I think we can do it, though.
Ready.
I think we can still do it. Okay, hold on. One moment.
Prepare, fishy.
Prepare.
Got you.
Go.
In you go, Marty.
I also always forget if that's right bumper or right trigger whenever we start the fishing minigame, so that's always the first thing I'm thinking of. It does show you, but I'm waiting to see with a little prompt. So if there is one that's really quick, then sometimes it's like, oh no, I don't even have time to react.
Coordinating with the Titan Chronos set in motion many series of events, resulting in the liberation of the goddess Nyx. That is an outcome I had sought. So for this daughter of mine, I shall give you gratitude.
Oh. We did see Nyx here once before. Oh, wow. I don't remember seeing this previously. It's heroic rarity. This is the only time we've ever seen a boon drop directly with heroic rarity outside of being a sacrifice. Those drop Inferno Bombs. I mean, our Arcana cards having no effect is scary, because that means we have significantly less maximum life. We don't heal in between rooms after taking damage walking into this room and passing on max life upgrades. That doesn't make me feel great, especially if we're very close to the aforementioned Skilla fight. Inferno Bombs from enemies, it's unfortunately, since we're close range, that means they are going to drop directly on top of us, which does kind of stink. And afterward but otherwise, this would be pretty manageable. Afterward, we use less magic. Probably a complete nothing burger. Next 4 encounters, we don't earn gold. That kind of stinks, especially given how much gold earning potential we would usually have. Afterward, we heal 12 between rooms. I'm thinking we're going this route. Yes, the downside, it's not directly going to harm us in terms of damage we take or anything like that. And maybe you could argue that we're going to make up for it, the few rooms with no gold, by benefiting from buried treasure, and the healing would be nice. So I think we'll do it. Okay, and then here, we'll take you. Just glad we don't have a gold room right now, and then I think the Skilla fight itself doesn't really drop much gold anyway. So it's almost good, the timing of that Chaos Boon for that reason. I got the Zeus projectiles as well, you're seeing shooting out. Oh, that still goes out. It's kind of silly to get hit by that. Ooh, that's a little hard to dodge.
Burn.
Don't stand on that. Also, probably actually hit this guy and not get hit by that guy. There we go. Okay.
Mine.
A little bit of extra max life, and then I think this now is the penultimate room, which means this is either shop or free rewards of some variety from either of those guys. Now, we did spend pretty aggressively in the previous shop. We are not getting gold for still 3 more rooms. but we're already in what is probably still above average shape when it comes to our current stock of gold. You know what? I'm just gonna see what we can get from this. Oh, I was trying to dash out of that. That's frustrating. That feels kind of cheap. I didn't really want max life anyway. I think we're just gonna go for this. After all, kind of stinks, but
Lord Charon
okay.
set up shop.
Let's go for you. We'll do this.
Let's get you someplace safe.
Okay, there we are. And now, definitely passing on you. We're gonna heal a little bit walking into this next room, and then assuming that the Skillo fight goes at least reasonably well, then we can heal afterward, and maybe we can be in a decent place life-wise. So I'd kind of like to pass on this and just take you. Let's see what we get here. Just remember, once again, whatever we don't take is going to disappear for good. So for that reason, I think we've no choice but to take the attack boon. Yeah, I would have liked to have also gotten the chance to take air quality, although the attacks are certainly going to have more than 50 damage already. I think the main thing that would have affected would have been the static shock, but since we got this up to heroic, it's already level 4. I mean, yes, it still would be a pretty significant upgrade, but not as dramatic of an improvement as it would have otherwise been if not for those things. So let's rarefy here as much as we can, and that does mean that this is going to prime basically all of our remaining magic, I imagine, but that's okay. We knew that was going to happen. And yeah, I think we pass on this. And that should be a pretty dramatic improvement for our damage. I think in many ways Zeus was probably one of, if not the best person we could have gotten of this category. Okay, so I think that means we're ready to go here.
Going in.
Excuse me?
What?
Hey, maybe you know, lady. What happened to Mr. Kronos? Lately, he's stopped answering our calls. He's probably just taking a little break.
I guess you could call it that.
You could say that. Lord Hades has returned as rightful ruler of the underworld, which means Kronos now can attend to other matters. He'll likely get back to you.
He's not going to get back to her, is he?
What are you, his personal assistant? Of course he's getting back to us. And if he's paying no attention to what happens in our venue in the meantime, even better.
Alright, well remember, we do have the big bonus damage for the first, 10 seconds of the encounter, which with our newly empowered attack boon hopefully means we can take down at least one of these three fairly quickly, and as is so often the case, the drummer is who we are likely to target. Also, I just for the first time realized, looking more closely at Scylla's art, her microphone and the stand, or whatever you want to call it, that it's attached to, the very top of it, where there's the ring around it, I'm pretty sure that's blood. And that probably shouldn't come as a surprise, given how, when she does her slam attack when you get close to her, her melee ability, she is hitting you with the microphone, is she not? I also never really gave that much thought either, I suppose. Okay. Okay, now I kind of got a little distracted by going after the people who had the mark on them. Which also happened to be you. Except now you... Oh, wow. Okay, that was quick. You're all going to stand right next to each other. Ooh, okay. Just that's not where I want to be standing for that, though. The drummer down? Yes. Frozen, which is slowing you down, but the bosses don't get frozen entirely. Okay, but now you're down. Good. You already on the phase where you're summoning these guys? You are. Wow. Oh, no. Oh, right. The darkness. I forgot about that. It would help if I hit, though. There we go. Okay, so we did take some damage, but I think we can still heal that off. Wasn't too bad.
Peace and quiet.
I think the damage was pretty dramatic. So that is very nice. The attack boon, I think, is delivering the way we had hoped that it might do. And I can't remember, was it originally common rarity, in which case we potentially could have left it on that rarity and Narcissified it here? But I think by not going that route, we still don't have any common rarity boons. So we aren't looking to Narcissus on this floor, and therefore we can instead
Try another one, maybe.
go with something else, either the experimental hammer and try to make this last long enough to last us all the way to the final boss fight, which might require that we cut ourselves a little bit short on the final floor, not going into all the possible optional rooms. Don't know if we'd want to do that, given how we have all the fear active. Alternatively, the concave stone functionally means an extra boon. What else? Don't want to do any of these guys. Definitely don't want to do you. It could be the gold purse. Given how this actually doesn't give us bonus gold, I'm a little less keen on that. How many rooms does this last for? 8? Yeah, so this doesn't really make sense on this floor, does it? It could even be the crystal figurine, I suppose. But I think it's going to be the hammer. We just cross our fingers that it ends up being something useful. Bolstered array. Gain +2 shells. That is very useful. Okay. I'm all for it.
Locked.
I was trying to click on this, actually. Thank you. Okay. Now, nav this. Okay. Mini shop. Can get a whole lot of chaos rooms. Now, this would be ideal timing in this case. Technically, it might mean that we end up missing Echo. I think that might have happened to us at least once before, but it might still be worth doing that. Any situation in which this could be combined with something? And not really. I think we're going to do this.
Should be useful.
It's a lot of chaos on one run. I was just thinking to myself, selling buried treasure is an interesting idea. Oh, we still can't get anything from it because it's still the chaos boon. It's preventing us from getting any gold. Okay, fair enough. I was about to say, selling buried treasure is an interesting idea because if you get it early, benefit from the extra gold earning potential. Oh, I forgot it also does extra healing. But then you sell it at the last possible moment when you're no longer benefiting from, or barely benefiting at all, from the extra gold, and then you just get a large chunk of gold from that sale. Then, it's all the upside and none of the downside. But we don't get any gold when this chaos curse is active, so definitely not looking to sell right now. We would have kept it regardless. Oh, that chaos actually does appear right now. Ooh, it means we're passing on another hammer. That's unfortunate. But we did get a good one here, so I think that's still okay. And it means, I thought that for whatever reason that chaos would only show up in the next room, in which case, although I guess he shows up in the, they show up in the sort of in-between room on the second floor as well, so maybe should have expected. One of the floors, I thought I remembered that it was a little bit delayed. But we are potentially still going to have the chance to get Echo at the cost of missing out on the hammer room. I think it is still worth this.
Chaos.
Debatable, of course, because this is speculative.
There.
We don't know what the up or downsides might be. What just happened? Oh, was there also a grenade there or something? I honestly didn't even notice. That has happened to us once or twice before, that we've unearthed a grenade when we do the digging resource gathering process. Except I thought that we did get a resource from it, and therefore I thought that we were in the clear. I thought when it gives you a grenade, it only gives you a grenade. I don't know. Or maybe I walked into that and that actually has a bramble effect, which I've never noticed before. I don't know. one way or another, that was confusing, and I definitely missed how exactly that happened. What I was starting to say, though, I think, was that, well, once again, we want to be mindful of what are the upsides and the downsides of this boon, because we still have the previous Chaos boon effect, the Curse. It has not evolved yet. But in 2 rooms, we'll get the healing, and we'll get the ability to earn gold once again.
Chaos, I heard your call.
Whenever we take damage, we are stunned. After we get even more gold, I think it's too late for that. Can't do this right now. Common blessings after... Oh, okay, these are all terrible. In hindsight, definitely would have preferred the hammer room, but of course, that's not the way it works. We don't get to see all those things at once. This is definitely... Well, actually, these are debatable as to which one is more dangerous. So we do very much kind of need this special to set up the attack. Could we go without pressing the special button for that long? And then getting extra special damage? Maybe. I mean, this is the safest by far. It's just that the benefit is basically nothing at all. So it's uninspiring. If we just want to forget that this room ever happened, we do this. It does potentially help set us up for Narcissus keepsaking on the next floor, but I don't think that's going to be something we want to do anyways. This, I think, still has too much potential to become a huge problem. So I think it is this, and it's going to be just attacks. Just attacks. And I'm going to go here, so we still get the... Is this exactly the same combination we saw before? Skipping out on the mini-boss. For sure.
Flourish and reveal my path.
Okay. So we may see Echo in the next area. Therefore, we do want to make a point. So I kind of just have to do this. I don't really know what the alternative is, to be honest with you, because I can't use the special. So that might be more of a problem than I was giving it credit for. Hey, buddy.
There.
Okay, so I think we go hammer second, in case we are trying to set up potential for Echo to duplicate the hammer. This is also probably just a bad idea, objectively speaking. Forcibly fighting more of these guys than we absolutely have to. Okay, that one I got magnetized into, and that one I walked into. That one was my bad. Ooh, there is... Okay, that is meaningful. This could be helpful. Ice Flourish. The special, the thing that we can't use, is the thing that got upgraded. At least in the short term, we can't use it, but okay. There's even more of them! Yes, I want to be honest with you. This was a horrible mistake, and it might be the end of this run.
I'm ready for you.
I'm not ready for you. Like, not even remotely ready for you, in fact. What? Oh, yes, that is true. And you are from the next floor, which is also not very good timing. I can't use the special. I thought it was going to be easier to activate the attack without the special. I was wrong. Okay.
Now for what's
Well, that's one encounter. Okay, and here... I think it's gonna be you. And then... Oh, this is great!
Lycaeans.
Not pleased to see it. Another one of you guys. Oh, still caught up to me. Okay, honestly, at least that encounter was fairly
The
short.
boon from chaos just
That was
evolved.
the less impactful boon that just evolved. The one that gives us healing in between encounters. It is good timing, but we would really love for the other one to go away as quickly as possible. After you dash or special, your attacks are faster and have more power. Attacks fire all of your shells. Specials have more power. And we take less damage while using them. They all potentially have use cases. This one, as we were saying before, actually might be especially useful right now. I feel like it kind of cancels out one of the other hammer upgrades that we got. Oh no, we didn't take the one that charges up and explodes after 0.7 seconds, did we? I think we passed on that one. We took this instead. So yeah, and I think it actually does synergize well with this. Because if this throws all of our shells and we have to retrieve them quickly, having them come back to us automatically and 100% faster is a nice way to account for that risk.
Superior might.
But being able to do that all at once
Should've done it.
might help make up for how we otherwise would not be able to. Okay, no, it still takes a very long time for that to proc. Okay, that's still a problem. That's still a problem. It does not make up for chaos. Oh my gosh, chaos boon. Wait, we are getting... Oh, right, we are getting gold now. So it was 4 gold in exchange for however much damage we took. 3 gold that time. It's a non-zero amount. Okay. Mini-boss, like this, heck to the no. Or here, and Hermes gets onionified. That, I think, is just a necessary evil on this occasion. We get 17 healing between rooms now. That's very helpful. I was really hoping we were going to see Echo, but alas, we did not. I think we have no choice. Go after these guys. One moment. I can't wait for this Chaos Boon to evolve.
Grow golden once again.
Wait, it just shows up as an onion? Oh. It immediately shows up as an onion. That's kind of interesting. I mean, I would have liked Hermes, of course. One way or another, there was obviously something was going to be onionified here, though. I guess at this point, Echo is not possible. We are getting gold, so we can pick that up. Technically, I guess you're actually the most beneficial in the short term. And by that I mean that you were really not beneficial in the short term. I knew it was you. I knew it was you. This was why I didn't take the one that would stun us when we got hit. How did that miss? Because I knew that that would be a huge problem if that were to hit us. How do I keep on missing this? I might have to use the special to proc it immediately. Just to get rid of this enemy. How was I supposed to get that when it was stuck in the bramble? What was I supposed to do for that? Stop running away. Stop running away, please. Okay. So that was the worst possible enemy for us to encounter, but something about that spot. Just had a feeling we were going to see that enemy. I was kind of on alert for it in a way. That guy is not going to be pleased to see us, of course. I missed. It's also really messing with our timing for this stuff. Hey, buddy. No, I need to do the close range damage. Okay, honestly, I'm half tempted to take the armor here, because we know we're going to heal at least a little bit going into the next area. The onion... the onion benefits us a little bit, right?
short.
Let's take this. Usually I would save it for the very end. But I think we actually do want to focus on mitigating damage in this encounter more so than the upcoming boss fight, because the Chaos Boon is the main danger. Oh, you're also a problem. Honestly, there was a time when I wasn't sure if this enemy counted in the same category as the mini-boss that we just fought, in that you can only fight one of them per floor here. Like, basically, that this enemy counted as a mini-boss herself. So that feels like that might have been the only time we've ever seen that enemy and the other one in the same run on this floor. We can finally use the special now without taking damage. This is life-changing. Also, it was so bad that it probably would have been better off if we had just accepted that we were going to take some damage by using the special, instead of sitting there like a lemon and face-taking a whole bunch of damage because we were deliberately trying to avoid using the special. But now we don't have to worry about that anymore. Just lessons learned, hopefully. Okay. And now we have crazy burst damage, since we did get that hammer upgrade that throws all of our skulls into one attack. And we have an extra skull as well from one of the hammer upgrades. So I think we picked everything else up here, all the optional stuff. This might even be the penultimate room at this point. We do still have Echo. What did I pick up most recently? I don't remember. Echo never shows up this late. What's up with the rhythm of that? Okay, man, that's thrown me off big time. So then the alternative would give us actual Hestia, not ununified. Gold and magic, which is not amazing. If we do take Echo here, it means we're going to see a double room rather than a triple room going forward. I think we're still doing this. In part because it's a room with no enemies in it, which means it's an opportunity to get a free chunk of healing, which we kind of needed, to be honest. Okay, please no grenades. Thank you. I don't think those can turn into grenades, but nonetheless.
We did it. We did it. We did it.
The House of Hades is restored. The Underworld King and Queen won't let this place languish as it has. In time, I'm certain it shall be better here for everyone.
Better here for everyone. For everyone. For everyone.
Yes, but for now, I may continue passing through much like before. I have to visit Tartarus to ensure everything's all right.
Everything's all right. All right. All right.
All right. Well, let's see. Most recent reward was gold. Was it a full-blown gold, or was it one of the mini side gold options? I mean, technically we are getting more gold on this run from you, so it's not the worst thing. Otherwise, next purchase from Charon, we get an extra copy at no charge. I mean, this is worth more from a pure gold standpoint, but again, it's that question of, do you need the gold, or do you need the opportunities to spend the gold? And it might be more so the latter. We're late enough in the run that, you know, the super shop is not that far away, so maybe we'll have a big opportunity to spend in a little ways in the future, in which case we could opt for this. How much do we have right now? 470. I mean, if we can get a double boon, like this may not actually translate to 2 additional boons. It's basically, or 1 additional boon, I guess. I think I might still go for this, even if from a gold standpoint, it's actually
Take care now.
not as good. Despite it being called gold, 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 the other one was actually more gold-oriented. Ooh. Okay. We've blocked so many useful boons on Demeter that I honestly don't know what she has left that we would actually want to see. Whereas from Hermes, we have not gotten anything yet. So we have every possible boon still available from him. And we get the gold as the second option, whereas that's the life. Life is useful gold, although, you know, as we were just saying, we do get extra value from that, so okay, maybe we take this. Where is the bow? Oh, it's over here. Oh, I missed. Excuse me. Go.
Ashes,
Extra life.
illuminate my path.
The freeze from the special was the other thing that we had gotten so accustomed to.
Going to be a problem.
The extra damage at the beginning of the encounter, which we did have even when we had that Chaos Boon. It was just that it took us so long to activate everything. It was hard to actually realize that benefit.
Area clear.
Yeah, because that's worth 200. Here we see it does do a big burst of damage. It's still not quite enough to one-shot those bigger armored enemies, but because they get frozen, that's not that big of a problem. Unless if you miss. If you miss, it is a problem.
Perish.
The smoke cloud dudes, and I missed there as well. Hey, friends. Oh, you did not get frozen. There we go. Okay, so this could be... I probably should have taken this first, actually, because he is the one that gives us extra gold earning potential.
But I think we'll be able to keep up.
That was silly. In hindsight. Ooh. So, yes, these are possibly my 3 favorite Hermes boons, which is what happened with Demeter as well. We're only going to be able to take one of these. The other ones are going to disappear. Hasty Retreat, I think, is not as effective now as it would have been on other runs because we have at least the, not denial, but the Vow of Forfeit, which has limited our total number of boons. So as much as I do love this in theory, in practice on this run, I think it's less meaningful. Rarefying you would be very nice, but it does start on common, which is a bit unfortunate. The Lockspur encounter, though, is really useful. Quick Buck, you could make the case it's a little bit too late for this to be all that useful, although obviously when combined with the Buried Treasure, it gives us crazy gold earning potential. I think I am still going to rarefy here. And we can do just enough to get you maxed out, and I think that's okay.
That was all of them.
Because that is very useful. It's 4 blocks per encounter, and that's just crazy value. And this, I believe, will be the penultimate room, and that means free life upgrade or shop. And again, with all of our gold earning potential, I think we do go here. Big healing is adding up to the point where, unless this is a grenade,
Tucked away.
we should be on full life by the time we go through there, which means we don't need this. We can take Hestia, who might be the only person we can still get a cast boon from. We also don't have a dash boon. I don't remember how many of those we've turned down, though. That one might have a few more options remaining.
In the name of Hades.
Oh, we get an extra copy. Okay, this is specifically... Wait. This is not her normal cast. This is like the Zeus one that allows you to aim the cast. I think... Oh, I love Flash Fry, and it does give us some area of effect, some burst damage to go along with all this. This would be kind of interesting to have rarefied. I was just thinking, yeah, you know, that I couldn't have really asked for anything better to use our last rarifications on than that one. I don't know how much stronger this would get by being higher rarity, but I think I may still opt for you. It does mean we're going to lose out on your sprint, which I do like. That, I think, especially since we don't have a base cast boon, is not that impactful, and obviously we're about to see another Hestia boon immediately after this. So let's take you. And then let's go here. And this is the infusion. It gives us extra damage based on our attack and special based on our number of fire boons. Fire is not the category we have the most of, but it's still decent. This would be good for single target damage. Definitely not interested in you, so it's either of these guys. I think I will probably still go for you. And it can get a little bit stronger still. It's just 10 extra power right now, but remember, that's, I think at least, then getting multiplied by this number, making it even stronger still. I think we don't need you, and technically we do have a little bit of magic, and we could get a little bit more if we take you, but I still think we're gonna pass on that. Normal Cerberus, not rival. And no Chaos Curses to worry about here, thankfully. Remember, we have the bonus damage at the beginning of the encounter. I did kind of just deliberately ignore that he was going to do damage to us if I stood there, because I thought, oh, we have that bonus damage, we should take advantage of it, right? Oh, that was bad, though. We have all the resistances, though.
Just getting started.
That counted as us getting hit. That's kind of annoying. Of course, Cerberus himself is getting frozen as well, which is useful. Fire breath soon. Oh, well, let's do this. Now it's fire. No. There we go.
For this most brutal and ferocious beast, all that preceded merely was a treat.
Okay. Cerberus down. No major issues there. Did have to use a few of those resistances, but we made a point of picking up a whole bunch of them with that Hermes boon. Okay, and that looks like that was it in here, so let's head on down. And just want to double check how many more rooms we have on that hammer upgrade that we got from our keepsake.
The old service hall.
12. This is good. Very much would like to keep it. I think we should be fine. Don't think, even if we went through every single room, that this would expire. I think we're in the clear in that case, which means we can throw on a boss-oriented keepsake here, I think. This. And then we'll do one of these guys. I feel like might go with knuckle bones. I think we've been, whether intentionally or not, we've been going a little more knuckle bones rather than luckier tooth as of late. Not necessarily sure that's because it's better or worse than luckier tooth, but we'll go for it. I think we're probably expecting to take a fair bit of damage given how we're going to be point blank against Kronos quite a bit.
All right.
With this weapon aspect, let's see here. Still not using cast for damage. We still don't have a cast boon. So no, not looking for this. And at this point, as we were talking about a little bit before, the super shop is not that far away. So we can start thinking about saving up for that.
Here goes.
Alright, so we're getting close on what would be our highest fear run ever. No, we haven't done anything this high on the surface, so I think either direction, it's our highest one.
Ever-shifting chambers. Realign.
Right, so quick here. Excuse me, please don't block that. Oh. Speaking of blocks. Not exactly what I had in mind. Freezing you. Oh, I hate these projectiles. as I've said almost every time we encounter these guys. But freezing those guys who would otherwise block is quite useful. Given how, that means you can sneak up behind them and they can't block you. Okay, so basic room here.
More gold wraiths.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of these guys, isn't there? Aren't there? One of those rooms where there's just a bazillion of them. Oh, yeah. Kinda knew that I was not picking a great angle on that. And as we've said before, unfortunately, the prioritization of the blocks goes Golly's blocks take priority, then these blocks, which is frustrating because these refresh every room, whereas Golly's only refresh every floor.
See that, Golly?
So it kind of
thank you.
forces you to waste Golly's blocks early. Okay, so we're definitely going to go here in what would be the first time we've encountered Hades and potentially one other person in this room since the new true ending. And this doesn't count as an encounter, so I don't think we need to be concerned about it potentially eating up this timer here, this counter. And as I said, even that if it did, I think we'd still be fine.
Family.
Malinui.
Yup. Oh, we can't gift to them. Interesting.
So glad to see you.
Oh, daughter. Oh, Malinui, you're back. We thought we might find you here. Well, Hades did. I never would have guessed.
This also reminds me of, it might have even been in this conversation. For whatever reason, on one of our previous conversations with Persephone, almost every line, she would have that, what's the right word, just that model where she has her surprised face. To the point where it was getting kind of ridiculous. I was like, all right, she just feels like she has no composure, no self-control whatsoever. She's constantly just bursting out in exasperation and surprise, excitement, whatever it is. She's just doesn't, I feel like it doesn't reflect well on her. Given just how often it was. It's kind of crazy how often they did it. I wonder if that's going to happen here.
I looked forward to seeing you again ever since you departed. How have you fared? Are matters in the crossroads well in hand?
Everything is more or less all right, Father. It's good to see you in this chamber in far better spirits than before, though why return to such a place? I'd have thought you'd rather be just about anywhere else.
Right, at least he's not locked up this time.
The house is partially in order, but the rest of Tartarus yet bears the mark of my father's extravagant tastes. Whatever harm he caused our family, undoing his decor shall take longer still.
Those darn interior decorating tasks.
Grandfather shall do his part. It also means I get to say hello.
Well, I shall do my small part then, in the retracing of your steps, provided I may be of service still.
Soot from the
Oh,
house.
we get the soot back. That was one of the frustrating things that they took from us when we went into the new true ending timeline, where it did not make it clear that that was going to be something we were going to lose, and that I think is the last component we need to finish the incantation to awaken Hypnos. So we might be able to do that at the end of this run, or if not, then the next run. And we already have a Hades boon from our first keepsake, the one that gives us the darkness. But what can we add to that? Whenever we use magic, we get soul urns? No, absolutely not. Dash does the scorn and a little bit of damage. The scorn giving us an extra 30% attack damage and special damage. That's pretty good as a debuff for us. Protos takes 20% damage after 3 seconds with the knuckle bones. It basically means that he phases instantly, but we miss out on some of that damage because he stops at exactly 75% for his first invulnerability phase. So I think for that reason we will go with this.
Take care then.
Now we can gift, though. Is it technically Persephone and Hades separately? Wait. You have 3 out of 4 potential slots. You have 3 out of 5. I feel like they're just bundled together. I mean, they collectively gave us the keepsake we've been using, the jeweled bomb.
You ought have many others who would welcome such a gift. To have been raised in the seclusion of those crossroads, I fear it must have been a very solitary life. More so than one would like.
Solitude is not always such a bad thing, but certainly it couldn't have been easy on you.
You need have no such fear. Growing up in the crossroads was never easy, but I never felt alone. I always had somebody or something to confide in. I would speak sometimes even to a fountain that we have in your honor.
Unui? I think that's one of those thoughts that you just keep to yourself.
Your words are not as persuasive to me as either one of us would like. If you had grown up in my house, you would have been showered with attention, not forced to harden your hands with toil, especially for one so young.
What is this? Hades being all sympathetic. It feels very out of character compared to Hades 1, the game, Hades, the character.
I have never regretted what I had to do, Father. And what friendships I have, I cherish. Perhaps I could have grown up with more, but I had everything I needed. Besides my parents, and brother and dog.
And now you have us too.
Oh.
Thank the fates.
Speaking of which...
Where goes the Lord and Master of the Dead? The infernal watchdog of the underworld follows.
There
Whoa.
you go.
Put the explosive skulls down. Okay, but we can pet him again. That is critically important, of course. Alright, let's carry on.
Gonna handle this.
Oh, you.
Let's split the killing down the middle, give or take. As in, I'll take your gold.
Alright,
I'll make them come
game on.
One of us will.
I swear if you steal all my kills, though, I am going to be mad at you. What if we deliberately have some of the enemies respawn?
Come on.
Just to artificially increase the number that are gonna spawn overall. Uh-oh, that was bad. I kind of set her up there. Oh, I missed. I'm pretty sure she kill stole that one. Oops, that one was my fault. Okay, we did beat her.
Easy. Can't believe I lost.
No! I wanted that room. I just saw that it was the bonus one, and I should have been ready. I got distracted by this, which we can take. Okay, maybe that's our consolation prize. It is Nightmare. That is a big deal, except that we don't technically need it anymore. I'm not sure what... I think that was some boon room of some variety. And unfortunately, I think sometimes if you do miss those, it means that sort of prevents you from accessing the future optional rooms. So hopefully we can still see those. We might have just been locked out of all the optional content, though, on this floor. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Ow. So, we definitely benefited a lot in that room from, not you, but a different Hestia boon, the one that deals damage to enemies in an area once we get a kill. I've probably already moused over several times. You. Yeah. There's a chance we'll see optional rooms after this one, but I don't know that that's going to be worth it at this stage. Given how we have a build that is likely to still take damage. Keep it simple here. Ratman? Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen, Ratman. I won't allow it. Woo, that was bad. Nope, don't block. Okay.
Golly,
Now
get it.
this. And now we see... Okay, we can either go to the super shop or we can go mini boss. Oh, it's getting onionified. Oh, man. I guess I think whatever room we were going into that Nemesis blocked, that would have been, I think, a boon room that was going to get onionified, because I think I saw a little icon in one of the corners like that. I only saw it for the briefest of moments, so I really didn't get the chance to process what I was looking at. So that means that this room alone benefits us basically 0. However, if it does mean that we can then access other rooms after it, then those rooms do benefit us. So that's the main reason why we would go here. And with 7 rooms to spare here, and with a whole bunch of healing per room from this, I mean, it's 12, which is not a crazy amount, but plus our Arcana, I think it's 17 total, means we can shake off a fair bit of damage as well that way. But it is the nasty enemy that we did not want to see. Freezing him, though, definitely helps, but it would help a lot more if I were to hit that enemy more consistently, because I failed miserably in that regard. Okay, I deliberately tried to dash through that, and it still counted as a hit. That's really frustrating. That's also really frustrating. I'm getting pretty annoyed by that. That's happened twice on this room, and it's happened a lot more in other rooms as well. Now that one's just my fault. Remember the scorn from the dash improves our damage as well, which is a big deal. Don't run away. Go down instead. Okay, so it's an onion. But I think we're still healing off most, if not all, the damage that we took there. And then Super Palm Room after this, that we do benefit from much more.
Be not afraid.
Right. Let's get this guy, who's going to be very quick. Like, very quick.
There.
We are. Okay. I think that's all. We go here. Silly rat, man. Rats are for kids? Question mark? I hope not. Oh, that was bad because... Oh, get this. The rats are gonna respawn. And I didn't mean to step on that. And the rats did respawn. And I, once again, let this guy cause trouble when I should have just targeted as quickly as possible. Okay, so did end up taking some damage there, but... It's still a little bit more than we heal each room, so we're losing a little bit per room. But this time, we can get our attack much stronger, and this is definitely worth doing.
The house is just ahead.
Okay, and then I think we do this, because although this is a lot of gold, we can potentially spend a whole lot in the super shop, and we do get twice as much gold as we would usually get because of buried treasure. So this is worth a lot. And it's also a free room. 600 gold. Plus healing. I mean, just walking through this room with no enemies in it would have meant we'd get all the gold we needed to heal up. Oh, except I almost didn't see you. Would have preferred probably to have seen these in the opposite order, so we could heal off the damage we take from this room, because we are probably going to take some damage here, but that's okay. It's still worth it.
Choose one, span the other.
So, Zeus, Poseidon. Don't know that, well, we still don't have a cast or a dash boon. I know we blocked the dash boon from Poseidon. I don't think we have from Zeus. I don't remember if we blocked the cast for either of them. Not that that's expecting to be a huge component for either of them. But, oh, honestly, the infusion from Poseidon might be the best thing we could get at this point. Might take him first for that reason, although Poseidon mad, he sends the heat-seeking water wave, whatever you want to call it, not even a wave, but a little water gun projectile at us. Whereas Zeus makes the circles on the ground. I think Zeus is actually more dangerous when he's angry. So for that reason, I will prioritize you. Get the revenge boon, definitely don't want this. We could get the dash. I think we might take the dash just because otherwise we may not even be eligible for any dashes going forward. And we turned down Zeus's infusion, which means we are going to be stuck with just 35 damage on it, but it's better than nothing, of course, so we'll do it.
You have wounded me, my niece. Not physically, of course, but mentally. Such wounds as heal only with revenge.
Alright, Poseidon, I'm sorry.
Had to do it.
Oh, no. I need to pick those up, thank you. And honestly, just getting a little more damage coming from the dash helps when, yeah, enemies survive with just a tiny bit of life left. I just walk straight into a whole bunch of those projectiles. Ooh, hello. Not a fan of all those projectiles, I can tell you that much. There we are. Okay. Use some blocks, but we have some free blocks per room, so no actual damage. That's fine.
There I go, fighting my kin again, when I ought to turn my wrath against our common enemy, who is our kin as well.
That's Olympus for you. Alright, we can sacrifice, but no, I think we are looking for this. We gain life based on our water boons, and I was just thinking that our max life is still a little lower than we would like it to be, so this would help make up for that quite a bit. Now we are right where I do want to be, life-wise, at this stage in the game, if not potentially even slightly better than that. Want to be high 200s before going into the final boss is usually my personal preference. And it is possible to get even more, depending on what we see in this super shop right here, and we should now have the monies to buy most of the things.
House of Hades.
Maybe this being the exception. Although, I think we might just be able to get everything. Let's... I don't know that the order really matters. Except maybe you first, because I think we would prioritize upgrading the attack if we can. And we do see that. Yeah, I think that's the move.
Sure.
Then we do this. We have not seen any duo or legendaries, so I suppose there's a chance we could get one of those, and we probably would say yes to those. Let's see. And right on cue, freeze effects also cause lightning bolts to repeatedly strike afflicted foes. That's pretty tempting, or lightning bolts could strike twice, which on our attack would be incredible. But given how we are using freeze and lightning bolt effects one right after the other with the attack plus special combo, I think this does make a lot of sense to use. So I think we will still go with this. I mean, if we were to take this and then from the Poseidon boon see Hailstorm show up, that would be the best of both worlds, of course. But I don't know that we can guarantee that. This is the higher cost and therefore higher rarity chance boon. I think we'll still go for you. Oh, and now we've blocked it, of course. Yeah. So it's impossible at this point. Oh. I kind of forgot. Oh, I thought this was... Wait. Hold on. Was I confusing this with a different boon altogether? I think I did. I probably said several times that I thought this was damage for both our attack and special and priming magic along the way. No, this is magic restoration, which is pretty much completely useless to us. So ignore anything that I said about that boon before. We don't care about it. So, nor do we care about this. This is what happens. The reason why we only have one option here is because we've blocked every other Poseidon boon, except for the legendary / duo boons. I mean, obviously, we took one of the duos. but it's actually kind of interesting. Because we don't have enough quote-unquote normal boons to show up here, you would think that we would be guaranteed to see the legendary and or duo boons in the remaining slots from Poseidon, but the game must first roll to see, did you get high enough rarity to get a duo or legendary boon here? And if not, then okay, you can't get anything in that category, so we're just gonna have it be blank.
Some sacrifices must be made.
Oh, actually, yeah, that has some implications when it comes to the infusions. So yeah, this is giving us extra damage on both the attack and special. Maybe I was just mixing up this and what was previously Magic Restoration boon from Hestia. We lost a little bit of damage on the attack and special, and in return, we gained a little bit of extra life from Water Fitness. Prioritize Water Fitness over Slow Cooking. Ooh, okay. What do we think? Extra armor or the crafting resource that is completely useless to us? Teehee.
Good evening.
Grandfather.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I very nearly missed you. Is that Charon doing that? Oh,
Come back.
I pressed the wrong button. Remember the part where I said earlier in this run how every time that I get the fishing encounter, I hesitate because I wait to see what button it prompts me to press to reel in? Well, this time, having already made that comment and having already had a fish show up on this run, I had convinced myself that I already knew which button it was, so I didn't pay any attention to what the prompt said, and needless to say, it was the wrong button. So, I swear, I nailed the timing on that one. But it was with the wrong button. And by the time I realized, I was like, oh no, press the other button. Too late. I was like, oh, that's strange. It took a little bit of time before it registered that I pressed the button. Oh no, I've made a horrible mistake. Okay, what I was going to say before I noticed that there was a fish here that we obviously just proceeded to miss for silly reasons, is that we have Kronos here, and I remember in the original True Ending, I accidentally skipped this conversation and then tried to voice over the line myself in the place of Logan Cunningham, who is the voice of Kronos. Of course, it could be the same thing that we almost heard on that time round, or it may have changed. We cannot gift to Kronos here, unfortunately, despite us, I believe, having some nectars to spare. It's okay. Just gonna be very careful not to press any buttons. Not to press any wrong buttons for this conversation.
Good, you are here at last. Now that you faithfully retraced your path, I ought to be able to manipulate the course of time such that you find yourself within the house, whilst a remnant self of mine sits on your father's throne. Ready?
Now remember, after we got the original True Ending, our first run after that, we went down rather than up. So this was our first time being introduced to what the post-True Ending experience was like, this explanation from Kronos, and having skipped it, at least my reaction in real time was, oh no, what the heck is happening? I've made a horrible mistake. In post, as I was, preparing to post the video, I was able to then just read it, so it was hard to make sense out of things until I had done that, but fortunately this time, we can see, and I'm pretty sure this is exactly what it had said.
Not quite. Shall this go much like on the summit of Olympus? The way you conjured up a vision of a time that could have been?
Oh, except now since we've done things in the other order, Melinoi is referencing that we've already been up. Post-True Ending.
Well, I certainly believe this ought to transpire as you say. Of course, that which awaits within shall perhaps be a little different in each instance that we venture thus.
That's either new... Well, we haven't heard that before. I don't know if that technically existed in the original True Ending, and we just didn't hear it because we went down first rather than up first. Or if that is truly something that did not even exist at all, even if you had done things in that order in the original True Ending.
Very well, then.
Alright, we still cannot gift to him. So I remember we had wondered if we missed that opportunity before, whether through just not paying attention to it or because we were out of nectar, because it takes a while before Kronos actually does allow you to gift anything to him, it seems, because most future Kronos appearances are going to be very brief, and it's not even possible to do that. But anyways, we are obviously now going to head into the Kronos fight, and we do have a lot of fear factors active here, though fortunately it's not rival Kronos, so that much is a non-factor. Most of the stuff that we have here, it's been in effect along the way, priming a bunch of magic, making our boons less effective, so not much that directly impacts us here. We can't get anything from a higher floor. The biggest thing is just that Kronos has 20% extra life, which is a pain, but hopefully that's still a small enough difference that that does not hinder us too much here. And our pure damage is very big on our attack. The thing is just that because we are using all of our skulls at once, that it comes in a big burst of damage, and then it's a little slow to get them back, and then once again attack with a burst of damage, even with this fetching array. So here we go. The proper introduction this time as to how this process works.
Hello.
You again.
Sort of. Although this is an alternate timeline in which you've theoretically never seen us.
I do not know how you last managed to escape from me, but you have gravely erred in setting foot again within these halls, thus giving me a second chance.
I guess depending on when exactly these timelines branched off into alternate universes, this is what happens when you start playing with time travel in your plot. We've talked about that many times before.
This is not your second chance, Titan, but your last. You are an aberration and should not even exist, not here like this.
Okay, but what I'm actually very curious to see is the thing that we were taking issue with in the new true ending, where Melinoi does the animation where she pulls out the spear and stabs Kronos before we have all the conversations with everyone about, oh, should we permanently delete Kronos or not, and then ultimately choose not to. We were saying, well, you basically just already did it, Melinoi. So all those conversations are null and void. We put the cart in front of the horse, whatever other cliches you want to say. Melinoi already did the thing that she had acted as though she had not yet done. So my question here is, are we now going to deliberately, permanently delete this iteration of Kronos? And if so, are we going to see that same animation, which is just another way to confirm that yes, that is in fact the way that Melinoi permanently deletes, whether it be Typhon or Kronos. I mean, we've already basically confirmed that the main thing was that yes, it's the same way in which Melinoi permanently destroyed Typhon, so I think it's very reasonable to assume that the same would happen if you were to do the same thing against Kronos. And why did you suddenly introduce this animation when it was not there in any of the previous runs? So I don't know that we need the extra confirmation, but it would be interesting to see nonetheless.
If I may interrupt, greetings. In case the resemblance is insufficient, I am you. Yet I am also me. I know this must be difficult to accept, but my granddaughter is quite correct.
I think we did see this last time as well. And as we kind of suspected, and we were saying in the new true ending, the build-up was quite different, and some of the things in the climax itself were also different. But it seemed as though they really did not want to have to rewrite the things that were happening post-true ending. So it was all leading in the same direction eventually. And that's why, from here on out, we don't really expect to see much that's new.
Grandfather, let me handle this. Knowing how you used to be, he won't be listening to reason here.
Ouch.
This foolishness, this mockery. You would confound me with these cheap illusions, whilst you deign to lecture me about what should exist or not. Be gone.
The other thing is this is, of course, our highest fear run ever, so we're trying to finish it off for that reason. I walked straight into that, and yet for some reason it didn't seem to damage us. We also do have the extra damage at the beginning of the encounter, which basically made him get shielded immediately. It's kind of hard to hit him with this when he's in that mode, to be honest with you. Usually that's open season. Oh, that was bad. Does he have health? Not quite, I don't think. I missed. I was deliberately trying to set him up with the Scorn first, before I hit him, which may have been overkill. Somehow I did not get hit by that. Now we can double hit and triple hit. 2, 3.
Glorious girl.
What? Rude. Oh, we forced him to move. Obviously, not a fan of the Ratmen. Fortunately, we still have the big time freeze. One, two, three. Freeze on him makes him slower. He doesn't stand still together, but still. One. Just one. Ooh, that was missed opportunity. There we go. And now to the second phase. Still a little bit concerned about the healing clocks.
All comes to an end.
Ooh, that was bad. I almost missed that. We know how to avoid this. Is that slower than usual because he was frozen? I honestly am not sure. 2. Just 2. Oh wow, he's already at half health. I did not realize that. Also here are the aforementioned blocks that I like to get rid of as quickly as possible. Ooh. No, what a fool I was. It's still alive. Oh no, bad timing. It's back up above half health now, somewhat unsurprisingly. Ooh, that was a resistance. Not so great place to be stuck. Okay. That definitely takes longer than usual when he's slowed down by the freeze. Right? Oh, he's dead. There we go.
But I thought none could possibly resist the ravages of time. But you, how?
Okay, now we're not about to get a surprise rival Chronos phase, are we? I hope not. If not, then this was just our first successful run at 16 fear, which should be enough for us to trigger the next tier of Knight's Champion.
You, my vestige, shall unfortunately never know. Now forgive this old man his transgressions. A time flow freely forth.
Okay, no, it's technically Chronos,
Bested.
not us. At least on this occasion.
Fiskelamius.
In perfect health. Were we really at full life? We were. Oh, wow. We definitely used a fair bit of our resistances there, but hey, I mean, that's what they're there for. And that was...
Thank you, Nyx.
Also... Oh, it's 3 Nightmare. I thought it was only going to be 2. Okay. Between that and the Nightmare that we got from just picking it up on one of the tables because we had high fear on this run, we may have fully refunded the Nightmare we spent on this form for Golly. If not, we might be 1 Nightmare off, but that's not bad. And then I believe at this point, we, after going through this door, had always just immediately traveled back to the crossroads. I don't think we had a conversation with Zagreus or any of our other family members at this stage, but maybe I'm forgetting that. No.
What then became of Sorceress Melanoe, you ask? This I would surely tell you if I could. Alas, that for the moment, I cannot.
Feels like there ought to be one more of those.
Return to Shadow now?
Because didn't that happen on the surface? Now I'm forgetting that as well, just on the
Another
previous
eventful
run.
night.
Did we get one more chance to talk? Yeah, we did, because we encountered Zeus, Hera, Demeter, and Apollo while Kronos was there, and we were talking with at least several of those people collectively, and that doesn't happen this time around in the Underworld. Now, okay, maybe you could argue that's because the true ending itself happens in an Underworld run, and you have a long conversation with several different people, so that maybe sort of takes the place of that, but it still feels like there could be one more conversation with probably the combination of Zagreus, Persephone, and Hades, and Kronos as well, just formalizing, hey, we did it, what's the plan now? Oh, okay, then maybe that's when you more strategically and deliberately introduce the concept of having time flow freely forth, because Kronos did mention it there for what might have been the first time from him, but didn't come with any additional explanation alongside it.
Glad to be back here with you. But it's a new night now.
I mean, there's sort of an explanation before the fight, and then he used the phrase after the fight, but just have the explanation and the phrase used in tandem right next to each other, so that it then becomes clear, hey, this is why absolutely everyone is saying, may time flow freely forth, every time we encounter them.
The memory of your reunion, committed to canvas in such a beautiful way.
Do we actually know, like, obviously we get this after we finish the true ending. Do we know how we acquire this? Did someone paint that? And if so, who was it?
Just taunting up the place. Don't worry about me. Kind of felt that.
Thank you, Dora.
Begging your pardon, Shades.
Okay, now we have a few questions about where we stand.
The fated list of minor prophecies.
Ooh, on the prophecy side, because yes, we did the true ending. We did one run on the surface after, one run in the Underworld after, and I thought that was... I mean, at first I thought all we had to do was get to the true ending, and then we'd be able to once again progress the fate-related plot line. I did not expect we would have to do 2 more runs, but it might be even more than that. I just feel like you're leading me on here like crazy, especially given how the new true ending was about 12 times longer than I thought it was going to be. So I thought it was only going to be 1 run. Okay, let's gift to Moros. Potentially because, as he called us out for recently, we may need to progress a relationship with him in order to also progress that aforementioned prophecy with the Fates. Even if it doesn't show up in that form just yet on the list, once it does, it may help to have a stronger relationship with Moros.
I'm honored to accept this, Princess Malinois. When the Fates first indicated that we'd meet, I asked them what I should expect, what you were like. Clotho smiled and simply said, "You'll see." I felt certain they were playing a prank.
You make me glad I don't have any sisters, Lord Moros. So, what would you have said in Clotho's place?
Oh, perhaps I would have said, "She's a great witch and enchantress, the princess of the underworld, daughter to the goddess of spring and the lord of the dead. Though whatever you imagine her to be, she's more."
Is he hitting on us?
That's not bad.
He might be.
How fares your effort to cleanse all of the disorder Kronos wrought? I trust this new task doesn't fall solely to you.
I mean, maybe not solely, but by and large.
Oh, everybody's pitching in, even Kronos, my grandfather. You heard what happened to him, right? His new self seems more tolerable than before.
That's an understatement.
Death to Kronos, to his old self. I don't know how you managed it, Princess. Perhaps not even my sisters could know such a thing, wherever they may be.
Yeah, and this metaphorical death to Kronos. It feels like a cop-out.
We ought to find where they've been exiled, and I don't think Kronos can simply tell us. What about you? Perhaps enough has changed that you can locate them somehow.
Is this what's gonna get us to have that prophecy actually show up the way we want it to now?
I often search the void where you and I first met, since the Fates would sometimes go there too. But it's a vast place.
We'll keep searching.
Oh, okay. This is what we want it to look like. Seek to know he who is our emissary. So that we think is Moros. That's why I just gifted to him. She who trained you, Hecate. He who rebels against the gods. We weren't as sure about that one. Heracles is one person we were thinking maybe it's him. And then we shall attempt to reach you thus again. So at one point in time, I had really wanted to see this one through because I originally thought it was going to happen before the true ending or at the same time as the true ending. They seem to be very closely intertwined. But then it seemed like a very lame excuse for Kronos to just go, these incredibly important people who I had captured specifically to control them. Yeah, I have no idea where they actually are. I just threw them into an endless abyss of nothingness. Okay, that makes little to no sense on so many levels, and also obviously just kind of artificially increases the length of the game, which I was not thrilled about, given how, as I said, it feels like there's already been a lot of things that have done that. This we may now be able to do since we got the soot back from Hades. That was another thing that we had to put on hold. Whether we do that now or next time round. Oh, hold on.
Mess.
And that is also one of the reasons why, yeah, in general, we've been a little more generous as of late with all of our nectars.
What are you even doing in this dump still anyway? If your mom and pop are back in charge, you ought to be living in style with them down in Tartarus. Are they that bad?
No, I may have been born in Tartarus, but my home is here, as well as my responsibilities. And the crossroads are not a dump, or at least wouldn't be if you could mind your rubbish.
I was gonna say, she's doing a good job of making it seem that way.
Whatever. Though at least that's one good thing that came out of all this. I really thought I was gonna lose you, babe.
She's thrown a lot of trash on the ground.
Very touching.
I'm serious.
Oh? Well, if we are to gift to you, I know I was just looking at this. Oh, it'd actually be a trip to the springs. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe I'll try to remember to actually plant stuff / harvest stuff first. Will I remember to then go back to Eris? Probably not.
I salute you, Shades.
Okay, Charon is here.
New shipment there.
No, oh, okay. It's more Nightmare. Okay, at this point, we certainly have enough to refund what purchases we had made. And if we had gotten that other fish, we probably would have had enough to get one more Nightmare this way. But yeah, we could make up for the Nightmare that we spent to get this form for Gali. I mean, we really don't need any of this other stuff besides maybe more nectar. And more of these things, potentially. Since we can only buy one per night, I guess we'll double up just in case. And then here, I mean, sure.
Let us briefly speak.
Okay, but only if it's brief. Well, I mean, I say that jokingly, but that does perhaps reflect, at times, many of the conversations we've talked about before with Hecate, where it's like, right when we're about to get to the juicy stuff, the important topic. Oh, sorry, lame excuse. I must go. I'm afraid I left my refrigerator running. I am tempted to gift to you as well, although you would perhaps be interested in going to the taverna once your great task is less of a concern, but what are you talking about? We finished all that stuff.
So, is it working out thus far? This change of plan, as our tactician would say? Should you see even the slightest trace of the old Kronos, do notify me at once.
Don't remember hearing about this.
Grandfather appeared where and when we discussed. His claims about these remnant possibilities out of time appear to be accurate. Shall we continue?
We may as well see where it leads. Also, I wish to thank you for your concern for me before, and express my gratitude that you decided to remain with us. I was angry with your decision at first, but no longer.
Okay, I do very much remember this. I think this is verbatim what she'd said before. As to whether the previous line that she had, whether I just don't remember that, or if that is actually new, that I don't know.
It was not a difficult decision for me, Headmistress. It would have been harder had I realized it might anger you. I've been to both the Palace of Zeus and the House of Hades, and neither has a cauldron or soft earth beneath my feet.
I actually don't remember, though. In the original true ending, yes, Hecate was kind of mad at Melinoi for deciding to go live at the crossroads instead of in Tartarus. She was like, oh, this is where you're supposed to be. This is where all your family are. You are the princess of the underworld. You should stay in Tartarus. But then, obviously, much like Melinoi just said in the conversation with Eris, no, this is where my actual home is. I want to be here. So Hecate disapproved in a way of that. But that might actually have changed a bit in the new true ending. I'm not sure if Hecate was as critical of Melinoi's decision. And if so, then that means this technically is one of those conversations we've talked about before that previously made sense, but now with the other pieces in and around it having changed, does potentially stick out as being inconsistent with the other stuff. But that depends on if, in fact, they did change. How well Hecate reacts to Melinoi's decision at the true ending.
I understand only too well, Melinoi. And I would have chosen the same, except I thought you would have been the wiser. Now you are stuck here. Another lost soul in the crossroads twixt heaven and hell.
But I'm not lost. I'm where I wish to be.
Truly.
There we go. Trust deepened. I was gonna say, I was surprised that we were not able to progress our relationship further with Hecate, but now that we've had this conversation, I think we may be able to do the thing that we were not able to do mere seconds ago.
Would you care to split this bottle of ambrosia, Headmistress? We never truly celebrated the restoration of the underworld's king and queen here.
Okay, now I know I was just saying earlier that I was gonna plant stuff before going to the hot springs with Eris, but I didn't say that about Hecate, okay? So it's alright that I forgot for Hecate.
Sipping the drink of your mountain relatives hardly seems suitable festivity. No, very well. You are correct that these shades shall be expecting something. And so I bid you all salute your princess of the underworld, who never relented against the threat of time itself, and the father of all monsters amongst many others.
Oh, Hecate giving us a speech here in front of everyone. Oh, man.
Thank you, Headmistress. Everyone. I never could have done this without you, without these crossroads, the one place I could always return to in a moment of need.
You are welcome here and safe, Melinoi. And whilst we had utmost faith in you, nevertheless, what you accomplished was beyond imagining.
I did what you trained me to do. I'm grateful for your patience through all the many setbacks I had to overcome.
How else could we have stood against time itself if not through patience? I knew you would be a capable student. It is the only reason I pushed you as hard as I did.
So then what happens now to the unseen? Our shades each have an honorary place in Elysium waiting for them.
That may be if they decide to leave, but I suspect they're in no greater hurry to abandon this place than are you. There's always more we may accomplish here, and we stand to go farther together than alone.
Thank you all for standing by my side.
All right. Time passes.
Well, it was not the most formal gathering, but my sense is that it was worthwhile. All these shades. They arrived here for lack of any place to go. Now it is a permanent home.
Not just a place to stop, a place to stay.
All right. Well, I did like that a lot, actually. I thought that was really good. The writing in that and the way that it tied a nice little bow on us having finished the main plot line. Because, yes, ideally, we would have had some nice congratulatory conversations with our various friends and allies in the immediate aftermath of the true ending, in the House of Hades and whatnot, but for a variety of reasons, that did not prove to land as well as we might have liked it to have landed. So I think that one was much better executed than all the stuff or most, if not all, the other stuff in the House of Hades in the immediate aftermath of the true ending.
What to cast?
Okay, so now I feel like we're kind of bundling a whole bunch of stuff together all at once, which I guess is kind of nice in a way. Oh, look at that. See, we actually did need all the time just for that alone.
You'll flourish here.
We didn't need to replant before. speaking to Hecate. Yeah, we still would have benefited from it, sure, but... Sure, we would have gotten a little more nightshade seeds. I think we'll be alright. So we did that. We could set up Hypnos as well. Could do this now. Oh! There's no longer enough time. Okay, well, I think it makes sense to have prioritized Hecate over Eris. Sorry, Eris. That's right, I'll say it. Hecate is more important than you. It may mean that we can't do this either. But I guess what I was getting at is, I may not even want to do this on this run. Might save it for the next one. We have waited so long for this, though. Does he just wake up immediately, or... We have to gift it to him first, right? Yeah. Okay, I don't know if it will let us gift it to him, or if it's going to do the same thing that it just did when we approached Eris, but as I said... Although we've waited for an eternity for that because we were about to do it, and then we activated the new true ending, which put it all on hold for a long time. Will you even let us? I think it will. Yeah, I might hold off just so that we can spread out some of that stuff a little bit. Felt like it was a long time in which we were waiting for those things to happen, and very little was happening, and now that we are finally getting into the post-new true ending, all the stuff is becoming doable once again, and all at once. So I was curious to see if after having spent time with Hecate there, if that would then check off the seek to know she who trained you. Maybe we need to do even more still on that front, in which case, yeah, we never really knew how long it was going to take to finish that prophecy. It might be quite some time, but also this is Nyx over here.
I see you all appear to be pursuing your responsibilities with diligence. Each child of mine a valuable asset to the Witch of the Crossroads in my absence.
I believe she was here, and she did say this after the original true ending, so I don't think this is new or changed in any way, at least not yet.
Whatever she says goes, Mother. We did what we could.
And Hypnos, he was here throughout this whole ordeal as well. Be certain to pay due respect to Hecate. You may remain here for the time, so long as more is to be done, and that you all continue to cooperate. Are we understood?
Mom is saying you have to be nice. Okay, Nemesis?
Of course, Mother. We cooperate here all the time.
I think that is the first time Nemesis has ever used that word in her life.
Of that I am now certain. But I cannot remain to see it with my own eyes, for the realm has need of me below. Farewell, and may darkness guide you where moonlight cannot.
Bye, Mother.
Okay. So a Nyx sighting. Oh, no Odysseus, I'm realizing. I was curious to see if it's possible to re-experience the true ending. No, there's absolutely no way I'm about to do that here. But I wanted to at least check. I actually forget if it's this or if it's this. But I'm not tempting fate. No, absolutely not. Okay, but we should also have some new stuff happening here, because with that run...
You have done well.
Oh man. We completed the second tier for Knights Champion. We didn't know what the numbers were going to be for the third and final tier, and I wasn't interested then. I'm not interested now, seeing what those numbers are. It's a pretty big jump. It's 24 fear on the surface and 32 in the underworld. That is pretty crazy, but it has never really been a high priority for me. I mean, sure.
Another glorious victory, another well-earned gift.
We should be able to unveil another one of those. It's a nice little side benefit when it's convenient, when it coincides with other things we're trying to do, like farm up Nightmare for the sake of upgrading weapon aspects, but now that we've maxed all those out, and the only thing left to use Nightmare on is changing the forms of familiars that we just did once for the sake of it, but probably don't have much interest in doing going forward. Yeah, I just don't know that throwing on the extra fear is of great interest anymore. How much do we have left now? We still have 6.
Many a time have I been regaled with the most exquisite beverages and snacks, but never before from such a disciplined and honorable disciple such as yourself.
What are you talking about? We've
Let's
gifted
just
many
lads hear
times to you
that?
before.
More offerings, come on.
Oh.
The nectar's yours to do with as you please, sir. May it lighten the burden of responsibility you bear to all the shades and others counting on your skill and knowledge.
Oh, I'll give them skill and knowledge.
Alright, as for the normal conversation, I don't actually remember if you need to speak to him before you can unveil the next of the statues, or if you can just go straight there and do it.
Now, young one,
Here we are.
your eyes, lest you be smitten by the glory over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Commander, I'm rather at a loss for words, I think. Though I am honored, truly.
I guess. Embarrassed might be the other word I would use to describe the way that I'm feeling. Or at least Melinoe might.
Oh, you better be. You got any idea what I mean, the fates must have gone through to put these things together. But Knight's Champion deserves only the best. Which is that last one you haven't seen just yet.
Right.
My mind reels at the thought of a sculpture in excess of those.
True.
It's covered in knight's drapery. What's to stop me from merely taking a look? Apparently you've already seen it.
Perhaps he's the one who sculpted these himself, which, I don't know, might make them even more disturbing, to be honest.
Sounds like you might not be Knight's Champion after all, suggesting underhanded tactics such as that. You want to win top honors, you gotta have honor. And that means no peeking. Are you gonna use the oath again or what?
Probably not, as I was saying.
I don't know. All this still strikes me as a bit unwise. While I value your encouragement and am inspired by your words of validation, perhaps I shouldn't be so quick to pin my sense of self-worth on accumulating material possessions.
Right.
Come on, young one, you mustn't speak that way.
Alright, well, it is an achievement for getting the second one unveiled. That would be the third one there, and it is a lot more fear than what we just did, as we were just saying. Although, I mean, for what it's worth, we obviously did just finish that run, our highest fear run ever, without having taken any damage from the final boss. We were on full health, so, I mean, maybe we could have just doubled the fear. We would have been fine, right? There's no way that would have come back to bite us. Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Well, alright. I think that means this is the right time for us to wrap things up here, and that means we have now finished the transition from the true ending into the post-true ending. So now we are really back to where we were before we initiated that alternate timeline altogether, and that means we can do some of the side quests, or at least progress some of those side quests that we were working toward, and in some cases getting quite close to completing, and therefore may try to check one or two of those off next time round. So thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.